For 5 months in 2017, this was a captured city, a community under siege. As the world focused on what was unfolding thousands of miles away in Iraq and Syria, another caliphate was being established in Marawi in the Philippines. Thousands of people were forced to flee bombs and bullets and abandon their homes as the Philippine army battled to take back control from the group calling itself Maute ISIS, who stormed the city one spring morning. The UNHCR says the fierce fighting and huge destruction forcibly displaced 98% of the people who lived here. The most affected area is still a dangerous place, and you can't enter without special permission. The army took us there to witness the devastation that months of bitter conflict left behind. Rebuilding this city was always going to be a long, hard task. For the displaced, many of whom lost all of their possessions and left with only the clothes they were wearing, it's been a tough journey. Houses, jobs, and communities were all gone. New lives had to be built in new places, and through it all, the dark shadow of ISIS remained.
What happened in Marawi siege brought us something we call it's like the end of the world. It's like what I saw in TV where wars happened. For me, this is totally frustrating. That will really trigger anger to the people of Marawi. We do not deserve this kind of destruction. Actually call this a ghost city after the siege. It's very hard for me to say because it's reality.
The fighting was intense and relentless and left this once proud city almost totally destroyed. Soldiers moved from house to house, shooting on sight. Heavy weapons completely tore apart not just buildings, but whole neighborhoods. Hundreds of militants who pledged their allegiance to Maute ISIS remained holed up inside the city, and the battle raged on. American special forces stepped in to give technical help to the Philippine army. In the end, more than 1,000 people were killed as the rockets rained down and warplanes and helicopters became a constant sight in the Marawi sky.
For Davao City, in our area of responsibility, we believe that the IDPs from Marawi who are presently in Davao City are vulnerable to terrorist radicalization and recruitment, especially those who are orphans and widows. That's why in our case, we conceptualized the Kalilintad program, which is a Macanao term for peace. Kalilintad is an intervention program targeting the IDPs of Marawi City. And so far, we have provided them livelihood. We have provided them medical assistance and other support just to ensure that they will feel that they are not left by the Davao City government, and to ensure that we have control and monitoring over them. We firmly believe that the delay in the rehabilitation of Marawi City will affect the security landscape, especially from the IDPs. That's why in Davao City, we conceptualized the Kalilintad program, which is an intervention program designed to address the needs of the IDPs from Marawi presently residing or presently here in Davao City.
Now Marawi's children and young people are vulnerable to recruitment. Without the promise of a bright future, without secure homes and proper schooling, they can feel forgotten by society. It's easy to feel that there's no hope. That's when the lure of ISIS can become a siren call, and it's what they're trying desperately hard here to protect against. Asnawi is just 18. His home and school were destroyed in the Marawi siege. Now he lives in a displacement camp. He described the day Mauti ISIS attacked the city, with fighters on every street threatening to shoot people on sight, and the sky glowing red at night as Marawi burned. Asnawi told me how ISIS tried to recruit him and others, telling them to take up swords and weapons and fight with them against the military. But he resisted, insisting he disagreed with that ideology. There are now local projects designed to keep boys like Asnawi away from ISIS. He's been enrolled on a construction course where he learns vital skills like bricklaying and carpentry. It gives him the chance for a trade and a future, to provide for the wife and children that he hopes to have one day. And he dreams of rebuilding his house and his city.
Since every agency believes that recruitment is still ongoing, so we come up to this solution to conduct a construction learning for construction, so that the boys can enjoy their time and not to be subject for the recruitment. So we thought that what's the best for them this time. So we come up this construction learning. Some of them are not focused at the start of the program, because the trauma is still fresh on their mind because of the Marawi siege. So these boys are vulnerable. These boys are the kind of boys that ISIS wants. So we want to stop them to be recruited by ISIS.
Zakaria was there from the very beginning. His cousins Omar and Abdullah Maute founded the group that led the Marawi siege, and he was one of their first recruits. His own son was killed in the fighting as part of a group that tried to help Omar to escape. Now Zakaria's face stares out of a wanted poster at Davao Airport. He told me he witnessed a beheading, but felt nothing. Even his son's death made him proud, because he believed he was a martyr for their cause. This is one of the Philippines' toughest prison wings. Some of these inmates have been here for decades and are still awaiting trial. All are accused of terror attacks. But they're trying something new here. They hope by educating their prisoners, they can teach them to think differently about their violent ideology and see that there are other ways to achieve their aims.
I was suspect bombing in Zamboanga City, and also I was suspect kidnapping also, but all of that I never done. That's true. I'm not involved in any group. I was arrested because I'm just a Muslim. I suspect from ASG as a Abu Sayyaf, but I'm not ASG. And that's true. I don't agree with Abu Sayyaf because they are extremists. They are killing people. They are kidnapping.
The people of Marawi were promised that their city would be rebuilt by the end of 2021, but the work is far from complete. By March 2021, nearly 4 years after the fighting, reconstruction was only half finished. For the communities who once lived here and the thousands who still can't return to their destroyed homes, the slow pace is devastating.